So today we shall be talking about the doctrine of separate powers. This doctrine is basically talking about how powers in government should be separated to different arms, where there should not be interface, there should not be criticism, there should not be influence or interfering between the different arms of government. For example, the president shouldn't interfere with the law part. Yes, sometimes it happens here where the president can refuse what the judges have stated, but basing on this doctrine, it shouldn't happen at all. This doctrine was put forward by a Frenchman called Montesquieu in the 16th to 1750s. He argued that there should be three arms of government, where we have the executive, which is A, the legislature, which is B, and the judiciary. And in his book called Spirits of the Law, he argues that these arms should be totally separate, independent, and they should not interfere with each other. Everyone has to do like their job. And he also argued that there should be separation in such a way that if you're employed in the judiciary, you cannot be at the same time employed in the executive. You cannot be a president and at the same time you're the chief judge. You cannot be an MP at the same time you're a judge. So in case you're making the law, then someone else should enforce the law. In case you're signing for the law for like the bills to get active, then you cannot be the one making the laws. So there he was arguing that in each sector, in each arm of government, there should be independence, whereby the body should not be seen interfering with the other body. That was his argument. So now let's talk about the executive. For the executive, being the first organ of the arm of government, it's established under the Chapter 7 of the Constitution of Uganda, 1995. And the first article, which is 98.1, it establishes the president as the head of state. Article 98 establishes the president of Uganda, who shall be the head of state, head of government, and commander-in-chief. I'm pretty sure most of you have heard Museveni call himself His Excellency, call himself the commander-in-chief. So he's established under the same article where he's established as the president as well. And then we go to the next, which is 91. Article 91 provides that the president provides that the executive authority in Uganda is vested into the president and shall exercise this authority according to the Constitution. This was meant to limit the president from doing whatever they want with their power. This article vests executive authority. That's why when the legislature makes the laws, the bills, the president has to sign with the executive authority under this article. He has to sign to make them acts of parliament, to make them active laws. This is where it all begins. Then Article 108 provides the office of the vice president. Then we go to Article 118. This Article 118 has a mistake, because right now I'm using the current notes that are everywhere, the PDF that is everywhere in MOOCs right now, 2025, year 3, 2025. So this is the wrong part of it. That it provides that it provides for the cabinet shall consist of the president, blah blah blah. Let me show you what the actual article is. It provides the parliamentary vote of caucus. Vote of caucus is mostly used by the parliament to like vote out, let me say, minister, vote out something of that sort. The correct article would be 111. 111 is the correct article for that state, whereby it says that it provides that there shall be a cabinet which will consist of the president, the vice president, prime minister, and such a number of ministers as they appear to the president to be reasonably necessary for the efficient running of government. That's why it's only the president that chooses how many ministers they want in their cabinet under this article. So this shows us that we are having a mistake here in Article 118. 118 doesn't provide this, so you get where to write and change that. Then we also have, then we go forward, this same line of Article 118, you can see here, therefore the President shall have powers to appoint or dismiss ministers. This appointing or dismissing is under still Article 113, where the President, for example, in the case of Shaban Opolot versus the Attorney General, where this guy was in the military and he was dismissed over certain cases, he sued government over his dismissal, and governments and courts ruled that the President has the power to appoint or dismiss any minister in their cabinet because he has the executive authority to do that. Let me try looking for the article that says that cabinet shall be appointed by the President with approval from Parliament among members of Parliament or persons. That's why, for example, you saw Honorable Namtoro had to go to Parliament, and Parliament had to vet. When the President appoints you as his minister, you go to Parliament, and after random questions vetting, you can then be recommended and passed as a full minister. Then we go back to our PDF. We have Article 117 that provides the responsibility of the ministers. I've talked about that. Here, in 117, it states that ministers shall be personally responsible. We are going to see this concept where we have the collective responsibility, this one here, the collective responsibility and the ministerial responsibility. So in this executive topic or subtopic, we look at ministers being personally responsible for and accountable to the President for their duties. So there can be collective responsibility and ministerial. Ministerial is where you're accountable for things you did as a person, in person, the decisions in person. So then we go to the legislature. The legislature is established under Article 6. In Article 6, the legislature is expected to make and govern, to make the laws that govern the country. It's the arm of government that is given that responsibility to make the laws. For example, we have the Acts of Parliament, we have the statutory laws, everything they're under the legislature. We have Article 77 establishes the Parliament of Uganda by stating who shall be in composition, who shall be in Parliament, its compositions, its functions, its tune, everything about it. It's established under Article 77. Then Article 78(1) provides the full composition of Parliament. When you go look into the Constitution, you'll see the different segments of who should be in Parliament. Then we go to Article 79. It gives the functions of Parliament, everything Parliament has to do. So in case you're there and you have to become an MP and you haven't gone through Chapter 6 of the Constitution of Uganda, and I would encourage those guys that are going to vote, you vote people that know this chapter at least. So then we go to Article Article 82 provides offices of the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker as the supreme heads of the Parliament. Then you have between 88 and 96, it provides all the procedures, what happens when, which procedures are taken when, what happens, such stuff are given between that and all these articles that have been given in this PDF cover the whole Chapter 6 of the Constitution of Uganda. So we also have, let me just read this one direct. Therefore, under the doctrine of parliamentary supremacy, once an act, parliamentary supremacy is a different subtopic. It talks about how parliamentary bills or decisions have to be supreme. It talks about that once an act has been shown, the courts cannot do anything more than applying it. For example, if the remember, before making a law, it's a bill in Parliament, discussed what for weeks, first reading, second reading, third, whatever, then it goes to the president's table as a bill. When the president signs it and it becomes an act, the court cannot do anything, even if the law was stupid. Let me say, they say that men that are not married, they won't wear shirts. Even if it's a stupid law that has been passed, the court has nothing to do about it. It has to just implement it. As long as it has been passed, the Parliamentary Acts, the Acts of Parliament are the law of the land. So if it has been upped, even if it's absurd, if it's absurd, it's for the Parliament to correct it by reappealing. One of the MPs has to come and reappeal that we made this law, let's do this and this. But what the judges have to do, they have to just obey and go on with what the act or the president has signed. That's why the gay bill, I don't know if it's working, but yeah, it has been hard on these people. Then you go to the judiciary. For the judiciary, we have it's established under Chapter 8 as the third arm of government. And the doctrine of separation of powers calls for the sovereignty of this judiciary. And it's established under Chapter 8. Everything about the courts and everything, even the business law stuff we studied about courts, is all under Chapter 8. So Article 126 of the Constitution provides that the exercises of the judicial power by stating that Article 126 subsection 1 provides that power has been derived from the people and shall be only exercised by the courts in the name of the people. You get the point. If, let me say, you're having a case, you're not allowed, let me say, a policeman is not allowed to slap you. You're not allowed to beat anyone because power has been taken away from the people and been given to the courts to exercise and enforce the laws in the name of the people. So that's why you have to just report in case of anything that happens. Then you have Article 129 provides that the different types of courts in the judiciary. The different types we have seen the High Court, magistrates, everything that we studied in business law is established. The hierarchy of courts is established under 129. The other articles are just details of the whole chapter. So that's all about the doctrine of separation of powers.